If you yourself can't buy your product, wouldn't buy your product, can't afford your product, don't use your product, you don't have the confidence to sell it, my friend.
Welcome to the Bedros Keuilian Show.
You will never become great at selling if you don't use this framework. Hey guys, Bedros Keuilian here. Hope you're doing great. Today's episode is about selling, and I'm convinced that you will never become great at it if you don't use this framework that I'm about to give you. Now, let me qualify this by telling you over the last decade, I've literally used this framework to sell hundreds of millions of dollars of products and services. Think about Fuel Hunt, think about Truly Supplements, think about Fit Body Bootcamp franchise, think about my coaching services, and you think about all the different people that I've also coached and consulted over the last 2 decades. It's probably in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions. And all of it is the framework. Doesn't matter what we're selling, this framework matters. And this is the framework that we use. And if you're having a hard time selling, this is what you need. Now, first of all, if you're like, hey, I'm going to tune out, this one is not for me, you are wrong. Because even if you have a job in a company right now and you're like, man, I want to make more money. However, they say I'm capped out. I can't make any more money with the skill and the role that I have. Well, if you want to learn to sell, you can probably move to the sales department of the company that you work for and all of a sudden start making even more money, exponentially grow your income, because there is no limit to how much commissions you can generate if you have a great product or service that you're selling that solves a problem, right? So with that said, selling is not rocket science. I'm someone who was horrible at selling. Like, I was so horrible at selling that when I was a personal trainer at the old LA Fitness in La Habra, California, I only had 4 personal training clients, and every single one of them, they came to me and said, hey, I want to sign up for personal training and I want you as my personal trainer, right? Because they saw me walking around the gym and they're like, hey, he's jacked. He seems like he knows what he's doing. I'll have him as a personal trainer. But pretty much anyone that I tried actually selling personal training to, like closing the deal, I failed. And I would let them walk and give me objections and tell me they're going to be back. And you know this, be backs don't come back. Plus, selling isn't just about obviously going door to door selling things or being on the phone and selling a coaching service or consulting service. Selling is everything that you do to kind of get through life, right? Like, you might need to sell someone on why they need to think the way you think. You might need to sell someone on why we're going to have steak tonight instead of sushi. You might be on stage speaking. If you're someone that's like feels called to be a stage speaker, you have to be great at sales, because speaking from stage, people go, I just want to get on stage and tell my story. Your story means nothing if they're not convinced of anything and therefore don't make any changes in their life to have a better life. You understand that, right? And so if you have a great story, but you don't know how to sell your story to the audience, then you will never impact and influence that audience to create a change, and they won't feel the persuasion to change their habits and beliefs and day-to-day actions to live a better life like you have. So imagine getting on stage, speaking to 1,000 people, telling your story, and then leaving stage and realizing that, man, no one's going to take action on this because I didn't sell them. I just threw up information, right? And that is what most people do. And so that stage, by the way, can be Instagram. That stage can be TikTok. That stage could be YouTube. That stage could be a podcast. That stage could be you're just at a cocktail party talking to a group of people and someone goes, what do you do? Right? You could either throw up some bullet points, or you can talk about, I'm the guy or gal that solves this problem for people who have it, and the solution is easier than they think and it's much cheaper and effective. Do you by chance have that problem? Right? Like, look at that. Now, very interesting, and I'm making a conversation out of it. So with that said, I'm going to give you this framework, and you're going to be like, holy shit, I see that this 4-step framework can work from anywhere. Face-to-face selling, DM selling, phone selling, Zoom selling, one-on-many selling, social media selling, stage selling, webinar selling. It works everywhere, right? So let's get started. So the first thing you have to understand about this framework is that this will work to anyone that's got the problem if you've got the solution, right? So no sales process, no matter how slick and tactical it is going to work if you've got the wrong avatar in front of you. You know, Gary Halbert once said, if you've got a burger restaurant that you are looking to open somewhere, what is the number one thing you need to be able to make this burger restaurant successful? And people in the audience start yelling out, you know, a secret sauce. Someone was like, oh, the perfect patty. Someone's like, oh, great service. Someone says a catchy slogan. And he's like, nope, you need a starving crowd. If you're selling burgers, you need a starving crowd. If you don't have a starving crowd, no amount of secret sauce, catchy slogan, fancy burger bun, or whatever, beautiful looking restaurant is going to get the job done. And so what I'm going to teach you here will work on every single person that has the problem so long as you have the solution. So let's get started. Thing number one in the framework is this, right? You have to understand this one thing. Your job is to first agitate the problem that they have. So if someone approaches you and they are like, hey, I think you might have what I need. Your question should be this. What is the problem that you have that's keeping you awake at night, right? Instead of saying, yeah, that's right. I help people invest in real estate. So let's say they know that you're a real estate investor and you help people learn to properly invest in real estate so they don't get screwed by the banks and whatnot, and they don't buy a shitty apartment complex that ends up, sitting on some kind of a chemical dump that ends up giving everybody cancer. Great. So if you're a real estate investor and you teach people how to invest in real estate and someone knows that about you, if they walk up to you and they're like, hey, I think you have what I need. If you just start throwing up information at them, yeah, that's right. I've been buying and selling real estate for the last 20 years. I've bought $90 million, bazillion dollars in real estate. I've helped this many people. That's great. You're giving facts. You're throwing up information. How about, oh, you do need my help. Well, tell me, what is the problem that you have? And they might say, well, the problem is I've tried investing in real estate before and I almost got ripped off, or it cost too much, or the bank gave me a high interest rate, or they wanted me to personally guarantee, or they wanted $200,000 in collateral sitting in a bank account somewhere because I'm a first-time buyer where multi-housing is concerned, right? So the very first thing your job is to agitate the problem. So whether someone's trying to lose weight, gain muscle, eat right, overcome a divorce, buy real estate, buy a product or service. I want to upgrade my phone, right? Oh my gosh, I want to upgrade my phone. You do. Well, what is the problem that your phone's giving you? Well, it's slow. The battery dies early. I'm not getting great reception. Oh man, yeah, when it's slow, it sucks, right? Because, see, this is agitating the problem. Because you're unable to pull up the websites that you want, the social media sites that you want, to get the access to the content that you need to be able to do the things that you want to do, right? Yeah. And then they always seem to die during the worst time, huh? I can understand what you mean when you say the battery dies. The battery dies during the worst time of all, and now you're looking for a place to plug in. You're stressed out, you're overwhelmed, you're like anxious and running around like a chicken with your head cut off, right? Yeah. And the photo quality is not what it used to be, and newer phones have higher photo quality, and that's probably something that you want as well, right? So you have to be able to identify by asking questions. What is the problem? What's keeping you awake at night? How long have you been trying to solve this problem? If someone wants to lose weight, right? How long have you been trying to solve this problem? What have you done previously to solve this problem? How has it worked for you? How much opportunity cost have you lost? How much time have you lost? How much money have you lost? You agitate that problem so much that they're like feeling the pain, because when people feel pain is when they're most likely to lean into action, right? The stick leads us to action more than the carrot. So your job in this framework is to, one, agitate the pain or the problem. Step two is to create outcome. The outcome is define the desired outcome. So what you're saying to me is you've been trying to lose 30 pounds for the last 5 years, and you've tried a diet program, you've tried a hypnosis, you've joined a big box gym, and you've worked one-on-one with the personal trainer, and none of that has worked for you, huh? Yeah. Got it. Well, all right. I could understand why that wouldn't work. And it's probably frustrating, right? When you've tried all these things with the best of intentions, you lost time, you lost money, and nothing worked, right? So you've been trying to lose 30 pounds for the last 5 years. What if I said I can help you lose those 30 pounds in the next 8 months? And what if I said it's very different than all the other things that you've tried? How would you feel once you've lost those 30 pounds? How would you look? What kind of energy would you have? How would your clothes change? What kind of experiences would you have? right? So now once we've agitated the problem in step one, step two of the framework is to give them the outcome, like mentally have them see themselves with the desired outcome in place, right? And you want to define that for them. What do you look like? What's your energy like? What do you do? What is the experiences that you have? How do you feel about yourself? How do you think others feel about you? You want them to give you that feedback. You notice that selling is not so much telling, it's more asking questions, right? So once you have agitated the problem in step one, you've shown them clearly, defined the outcome of what they want to achieve in terms of specifically outcome that they want to achieve. Step three is the solution. Hey guys, quick interruption to the Bedros Keuilian show. I took some time to go to the local juice stores here in town and I bought all these different ginger, turmeric, and wellness shots. Now they range anywhere from $3.69 all the way to $4.05. And to be honest with you, they all suck. Why? Because they do not have anywhere near the wonderful ingredients of the Keuilian Wellness Shot. First of all, to build your immune system and keep your immune system strong, Keuilian Wellness Shot is packed with vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. And also to help you fight off inflammation, it is packed with turmeric, ginger, and black pepper. And to keep you hydrated, Keuilian Wellness Shots have sodium, potassium, and magnesium. This is the ultimate morning supplement. Just take one packet, pour it in 4 ounces of water, and shoot it, and you're good to go. Best of all, $1.69 per packet instead of twice the price of those other inferior ones. I want you to get 50% off your first 30-day supply. So go to Keuilian.com, use my name Bedros, and you can get 50% off plus free shipping, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and $1 gets donated to Shriners Children's Hospital. Best of all, if you like the Keuilian Wellness Shots, and I know you will, like thousands of other people who are part of the Keuilian tribe, every month we'll send you a new supply at 20% off, free shipping. So go to Keuilian.com, use my name Bedros, and get your 50% discount code before it goes away. Back to the show. You have to explain to them how your solution is different and better than everything that they've tried. The cabbage soup diet, the big box gym where they're wandering around on their own, working with an expensive personal trainer that becomes cost prohibitive, right? So at Fit Body Bootcamp, we go, yeah, well, I get it. The big box gym, they don't call you when you don't show up. There's no accountability. They're not measuring and tracking your results. So I could see why the big box gym didn't work for you. Notice I'm not saying I could see why you failed at the big box gym. I'm saying I could see why the big box gym didn't work for you. Lack of accountability, lack of goal setting, lack of support. I could see why the one-on-one personal training didn't work for you. It's so expensive. I mean, who could afford $600 to $800 a month, right? For a personal trainer for that long so that you can get the results. So I see why after a couple months you stopped. I understand, we're not all made of money, right? And so by doing that, you're now positioning your product. And this is that third step, the solution. And that's why here at Fit Body Bootcamp, look, it's only $199 a month. And you can come to as many sessions per week as you want and as many sessions per day as you want. Now, all we ask is you do 3 to 4 days a week. Each session is 30 minutes long, which means we compress a lot of calorie burning and muscle toning in a 30-minute time window to give you the 30 pounds of weight loss that you're looking for. Best of all, we teach you in that time how to eat right, how to manage emotional and habitual moments that create stress eating, emotional eating, angry eating. So now you know how to eat right, you know how to train right, you're being held accountable by our Fit Body Bootcamp coaches. Every month we're doing assessments and tracking your goals. And if you happen to miss a session because you're human, we call you, we follow up, we even make you feel guilty and make sure you show up to get those results. And that's why Fit Body Bootcamp clients get the results and then maintain those results for the rest of their life, because we not only help you lose the weight, we teach you how to become your own coach and personal trainer. Best of all, because this group coaching, everybody shares the financial cost, so it's much more affordable than one-on-one coaching. So you see what we did there, right? We agitate the problem. Like, how long have you had this problem? What does it look like in your life? What is the experience that you're having with this problem not being solved? And then we go, what is the outcome that you want? And we want a very clear picture of the outcome. How will they feel? What will they experience? And then we position the solution. The solution is this thing that you haven't tried, and here's how it's different than everything else that you've tried, and here's why it will show you the results. And then you ask them, you get that confirmation statement during this third step of the framework, during the solution statement, which is, doesn't that make sense? that when you have the accountability, you're tracking your goals, you have the support, it's affordable, and it's convenient because of all the time sessions that we have. Doesn't it make sense that you lose those 30 pounds and then you'll know how to keep them off? And they're going to go, yes. And then you move to the step 4 of this framework, which is the close. So then I might say, all right, then, Mrs. Jones, what you need to understand is to lose those 30 pounds, we have to lean into action. And that means we have to get you started on a program today. Now, we have 2 very different programs, and here's how they work. Program number 1, you pay monthly $199 a month. Program number 2, you can pay for the whole year and get a 10% discount and 3 months of nutrition coaching included. Which of these 2 programs can we get you started on, right? The reason during the close you want to give them 2 options is because when you give someone an A or B option, if you've done the other 3 steps properly, they're going to pick either A or B. If you give someone a yes or no option, now they're going to pick either yes or no. So do I want a 50-50 chance of a yes or a no? Or do I want a 50-50 chance of picking option A or option B? Either way, it's a win-win. You win because you get a new client or customer. They win because they get the results. And so using this like Fit Body Bootcamp example that I gave you here, if they want to pay $199 a month, cool. But if you could pay in full for the year, we'll give you 10% off and 3 months of nutrition coaching included. That's a better offer. It's a more irresistible offer. But they are going to have to pay a lump sum and have a 12-month commitment up front. And then we go, which of these 2 do you want? And then we zip it. We let them choose, or we let them ask a clarifying question. If they make a choice, we go, fantastic, great choice. Let's get you started. What is the form of payment? Let's make sure we schedule your next whatever, right? Facial, or in our case at Fit Body Bootcamp, schedule your workout for tomorrow, or your nutrition coaching, or whatever the thing is, right? Give you access to the course or the product. Let's go package up that iPhone. But if they want a clarifying question, then you go, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't speak clearly and wasn't able to clarify everything for you. So what are the questions that you have? And they might say, listen, I got knee pain. How does this work for someone with knee pain? You go, oh, okay, well, all programs are designed specifically for you, even though you're working out in a group. Every single group workout is a crawl, walk, run. So someone that has knee pain, we're going to start you out crawling and not just doing box jumps. You might be doing step-ups, whereas someone who's like been a former athlete and they've been with us for 6 months and they've achieved their goals and now they're maintaining their goals, they're doing box jumps, right? So we can go anywhere from like beginner to advanced to obviously intermediate in between. And they go, okay, got it. Got the clarification that I need, and therefore I can make the decision. And so you go, once you answer their question by giving them the clarification they need, then you, my friend, have to go back to, so do you want to do the $199 per month, or do you want to pay in full for a year, take the 10% discount, and get 3 months of included nutritional coaching? You always have to go back to the close. So as long as you are willing to follow this framework of agitate, outcome, solution, and close, you will make more money, have less friction and frustration during the selling process. Every single time. I need you to agitate the problem. I need you to clearly define to them, let them see in their mind's eye the outcome that they want. Make sure your product or service is the exact solution. Explain to them how it's unique and different and better. And then when you're asking for the sale, when you're closing, you give them the A or B option and let them choose one. And if they have a clarifying question, see, it's not an objection. It's just a clarifying question. Even if they go, I need to go home and talk to my spouse about it. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry I didn't do a good enough job to give you the clarity you need to make the decision right now. What is the question that you have that you're going to discuss with your husband? Well, we need to see if our finances can da-da-da-da-da, right? So again, it's just a question. If you could find a way to make that work for them. Maybe you say, hey, what if I give you the first month at half off? What if we sign this agreement and you have 1 week to discuss it with your spouse, and then if your husband's not on board with it, we just tear it up and part ways as friends? But if I look at everything as a question that needs clarification, then go back to saying, do you want option A or B? Whatever decision they make, it's a win-win. I make the money and they get the solution and results that they're after. And that's what I want you to understand. Now, I'm going to give you a little bonus here, right? Remember, I said I've used this whole sales strategy and made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars across all my companies. This sales strategy works even better. This framework works even better if you have the ability to build rapport, as in be likable, which I know you do. You're a decent human being. Be likable, be charming, build rapport, find something in common with them. Did you guys go to the same school? Do you have the same belief systems? Oh my gosh, you have a dog, I have a dog. Oh geez, I noticed that you pulled up in that kind of a car. I used to drive that kind of a car. I have a friend who drives that kind of a car. Like, what point of connection can you find to build rapport? So number one, this is the bonus round for you. If you can build rapport, if you can have high enthusiasm, because people want to be around others that have energy and enthusiasm and that vibrate at a higher frequency. So if you're just like fucking Eeyore, the donkey from Winnie the Pooh, like no one wants to be around Eeyore, the donkey from Winnie the Pooh. They want to be around someone that's enthusiastic and high energy, right? That increases their vibrational frequency. So in addition to rapport, you need enthusiasm. And then the last two things are confidence and compassion. Like, are you confident in your product? Are you a user of your product? Do you look like you use your product? Do you walk with your head up, with your shoulders back? Do you have this air of confidence about you? If you yourself can't buy your product, wouldn't buy your product, can't afford your product, don't use your product, you don't have the confidence to sell it, my friend. And finally, the compassion. They need to feel like you're the assistant buyer and not a closer. Compassion means putting yourself in their shoes and saying, man, I can imagine you've tried all these different things to lose weight or to buy real estate or to whatever, right? Make more money, and everything has failed you. Like I could see how that would suck. I'm so sorry that trainer failed you. I'm so sorry that real estate course failed you. You know, it really sucks that thing you tried failed you. I would feel this way about it, and I would almost feel like a sense of hopelessness. But I want you to know that hundreds of our clients have gotten amazing results, and they come from your exact background. Several of them have, in fact, tried those things that you have, and they felt just as hopeless. And I, in the past, have felt that way. See, that is compassion. And so if you can have this like rapport, enthusiasm, confidence, and compassion to put yourself in their shoes and feel what they're feeling, bro, it's like fucking selling with a nuclear bomb. Right? This framework plus those four things is like sales with a nuclear bomb, and you will never have a shortage of clients and customers. Better yet, if you can follow up on over exceeding the expectations, like promising a horse and delivering a unicorn instead of promising a unicorn like most people do and delivering a donkey. If you can exceed their expectations post-sale, because the post-sale factor matters. If you could exceed those expectations, like, fuck, man, I paid this, but I'm getting like 10 times worth the value. Now they're going to pay, stay, and refer. And that, my friend, is the name of the business. So I hope you got a lot of value out of this 4-step framework for selling, becoming the ultimate closer. If you did, please do me a favor and like, share, and subscribe. 74% of you watching this are not subscribed to the show on YouTube. The rest of you on the podcast platforms, leave me a comment. Leave a 5-star review. It would mean a lot if you would take a screenshot and share this across social media platforms so we can influence and impact more people who are looking to sell and make more money. And beyond that, looking forward to seeing you at BK Live, May 31st in beautiful Anaheim, California. But until then, remember this, that average is the enemy, that success is your responsibility, and change can take place in an instant if you are willing to flip the switch. I'll see you next time.